Oh, there we go. Okay. Good evening and welcome to another one of my streams. So, continuing on from my previous two streams, we're trying again for the McLaren Shadow project. So, I forgot to put the project bit in the title, but yeah, McLaren Shadow project, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, see if we can improve on our on my previous time from before. So, I mean, there's obviously two ways of looking at the leaderboard. One way is to say that 10th out of, I think it's about 500 entrants now, so that's nice, of course, and glad to be at that level, but I'll think of that on Thursday if I don't make it to the, if I don't win, if I don't get to the top of the leaderboard. But for now, the target is just try to get that top spot. So it's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult. I've been keeping an eye on the top time, and it's just getting a little bit crazy now with the kind of pace some of these guys are going at. So I calculated earlier today that basically to get the top time, I have to set an average lap time of a 1:57.6. That's stupidly fast right now. So well done to Kevin Siggy Rebernack, I think his name is. Yep. So it's gonna be challenging, but we'll see what we can do. So, oh, pardon me, just adjusting my seat and see how we can get on. Ride the brakes, ride the brakes, ride the brakes, ride the brakes, release the brakes for the start of the lap, and away we go. So I know that on my best run, I was running, I think, TC of 2 and ABS of 2, but I'm going to try a slightly different approach, which is TC of 1 and ABS of 1, and then maybe dial it up as the tires get a bit hotter, or overheat rather, because it's a problem in the last 3 laps. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out that sort of sweet spot of good sort of going quickly, but also not making life too difficult with the when the tires get too hot, because you probably can't really see it sometimes, but you get a little bit of a oh, thanks Dustin. That's one of the settings. I keep forgetting that. I don't know why, but there we go. That should be working now. So thanks for the little heads up. So now you should hopefully hear it. Hopefully. Yes, hopefully. So we'll try and see what we can do. So anyway, as I was saying, that kind of when the tires get really, really hot, especially coming out of the slower hairpins, the slower corners, you get a little bit of oversteer. So it's just that little bit of oversteer, but it's enough to really screw up the exit of a corner. So it's tricky to find. Maybe it's a matter of being smoother with the throttle when the tires get that bit hotter. course, maybe if I just drive smoother throughout the run anyway, tires won't overheat as much, so that's another option as well. Could have gone a bit tighter there in Abbey. Oh, really wide there. Probably going to take 1 or 2 runs to, hopefully just the 1 run to warm up, and then get to proper times. That slight mistake going into the left hairpin made me lose a few tenths. So, oh, oversteer. That's definitely not going to be a good enough first lap for a proper run. Oh, we're okay. That line was all over the place though, in the second part of Beckett's. It's a couple of nasty bumps going into Stowe there. The first one's not so bad because I'm not braking, but the second one kind of really throws the car up sometimes. One time I was actually driving, I think it really challenged the physics engine, the ACC. I literally braked and then just the car went three-wheeling for a moment. So just a situation where it's like the suspension's like, I don't know what to do, bang. Sort of a serious jolt. So that, yeah, this is how I should have done this corner on the first lap. Much tighter. So I'm losing, the delta's going bad. It's going really good, then it's gone bad. So this will still be a quicker time. Excuse me. Yeah, so I messed up the exit of the last corner, and now the delta is going to be about 0.4, maybe even 0.5 up. Yeah, 0.5 up on the last lap. A bit all over the place, but hopefully just get in the groove and then do it properly for the second run. Then probably what's too much way too much oversteer there. Look at the tires. Rear left is at 101 degrees already, and we're only done 2 laps. That is actually mildly overheating. Very close to going on the grass there. The exit of Abbey.
Right lead, 5 minutes to go. Stay focused.
Something I will mention, by the way, there will be times when I go quiet. It's nothing personal. I don't mean to be unfriendly or whatever you want to call it, but sometimes I need all my concentration. This car isn't exactly calm, especially under braking. There's this nosedive thing that I mentioned in my previous 2 streams. Makes it a little bit hairy sometimes. Like that. So I know you can't see my steering wheel right now, but it's like 45 degrees opposite lock there, going in the first part of Beckett's. That's not good, that's slow. So it's a shame they don't have a sort of a drift points meter, because I think I would do pretty well in this competition with my car control. Nearly again. That's the problem I was talking about. So the car has a greater tendency to slide a little bit. So when the tires get a bit hot, so then it becomes a bit trickier. The lower traction control settings. Yeah, there we go. Bit of oversteer again. And again. And again. So I'm trying to sort of map as lap to lap what's going on with the car a little bit, to try and think, okay, maybe I dial up the traction control after 3 laps. Oh, it's gonna tag me. It's gonna tag me. It's gonna tag me. Nope. Okay. It tags me when I don't think it's going to, and then it doesn't. When I think it should. It's just don't get it, but there we go. Anyway. I mean, and even when the car doesn't go into any major slide, like coming out of that left hairpin, I could just feel I was on the limit, you know, so I didn't actually have to do any real correction with the steering. But I know it's a weird way of describing this problem, but it's kind of, there's this speed lock thing. So if you imagine that you're kind of at the very limit of the slip that the traction control allows, so then sort of you're not really sliding in any big way, but it's just enough to cause the car to not accelerate properly. Doesn't propel itself out of the corners as well as it could. So that's why, yeah, like there as well, I had to do a little bit of opposite lock, but it wasn't too bad. But there's that little bit of speed locking. That's how I kind of call it. And I really wish I could get rid of that big old thingamy in the middle. It's very off-putting. Tried disabling the HUD altogether, so I really don't need it. but well, I only need it for the brake bias settings, because that doesn't come on, and the in-car dash doesn't have a readout, I think. I don't think it does. I'll have to check the other pages of my brake bias setting. It's probably just the case that just sort of change it once. And that's what I've done basically. At the start of the run, I set it to 54%, and then I just leave it. But should probably adjust it a little bit, especially when the rear tires get a bit too hot, so maybe move it a bit further forward to kind of eliminate some of the oversteer, at least under braking into the corners. So I might try experimenting with that, but anyway, so this run is definitely no good. That's only the first run. 11:52.2. So yeah, we'll go again. Yeah, it's kind of, you think, okay, everything's looking right. You can hear the in-game sound while you're driving, you know, so you think everything's fine, but the world can't hear what's going on. So just check sectors. So first sector, not too bad, consistent enough. Second sector, on the last lap it was off. First lap it was off. Third sector, reasonably consistent, that's good. So now what I'll try and do,
this session is about consistency. Try to be fast, but don't push it too much over the limit.
is basically let's see, is there anything about brake bias here? This is the brake temperature tab. Nope. So that's why I need the HUD. As we'll put on the lap timer HUD. Some people might wonder, why do I have ABS at 12 and then I dial it down again? Simple reason is more ABS, more brake temperature. So there you go. At least in ACC, that's how it works. So you get the brakes to warm up a little bit better, a little bit quicker before you start your first lap. So that's why I put it up to 12, and then I put it back to what I would usually use it at during the run. Wasn't too bad. Could have carried a bit more speed in the first part of Beckett's. Oh, it's off track. Oh, okay. So yeah, just from testing I've done, I was doing the SRO qualifiers, looking at telemetry, found that the brake temperature increased with higher ABS settings. So if you dial the ABS to its maximum, hopefully you get maximum temperature, or as best as you can get it for the run. Of course, remember to switch it just before you start your run. You want to do your run with ABS at 12. This lap's gonna be a 58 something, I think. 58.59, which isn't good, but anyway. It's okay, but like I said, average of 57.6. That's the target. So, tall order. Done a 57.6 on 1 or 2 laps before, but that was just the 1 or 2 laps in separate runs. So try and do it every single lap's going to be tricky, or at least do a lower, like say if you do 2 57.4s or something, and then that gives you a bit of a buffer for the last couple of laps, so you can then do a 57.8. Just average out at 57.6. That's one way. Another way of looking at it, actually, it's not you have to set a 57.6 every single lap. Do it, offset things a little bit. A good second lap. 57.8. That's nice. I'll do that for 5 more laps. Even if I was to do it for 5 more, it wouldn't be enough to get the top time. That's the crazy thing. Yep, clip the grass, clip the grass. So it's going to be a 58, low 58. Usually it's like the second lap and the third lap should be very similar in pace, but then it's the laps 4th to 6th, pace drops off a bit. That's at least what I found in my own driving. Now dial traction control up to 2 for the last few laps. Dial up the ABS or brake bias about 0.5%. Basically, just the reason for doing all of that is sort of, in a way, try and maintain the general feeling of the car as if it was on the second lap or the third lap. So when I do that, when you dial brake bias a bit further forward, so the car doesn't want to oversteer as much with the hot tires. A little bit more traction control keeps that kind of general similar slip feeling, let's say. Alright, didn't clip the grass that time. That's good. Bit of opposite lock there. Way wide. Kind of slow in that first part of Beckett's. Yeah, Delta's going in the red. Not much slower, but a little bit slower. Consistency is not that bad, but usually 6th lap is where it goes all horribly wrong. Hopefully able to do a good one here. So I felt a bit of a slight slide in the first part of Beckett's. And as I switched to the right for the second part, it kind of continued it a little bit. So always one corner, always the one corner. It's either that one, the right hairpin, or it's the left hairpin, or it's Stowe. Just go, yeah, just something breaks in the car. Yeah, this is way, way off. Lost pretty much a second there in that last one. So we're a little bit closer, but still, yeah. So I'm actually thinking at maybe starting with traction control of 2, ABS maybe of 2, and then maybe even dial it up to 3, at least for maybe the last 2 laps. So if I didn't lose, yeah, I wouldn't have beat my current best time, but I did a slightly better first lap and a slightly better last lap, I would have been in and around that range of the 11:48s.
Right. This session is about consistency. Try to be fast, but don't.
Frustrating, very frustrating sometimes that, but yeah, c'est la vie.
Green line, green line. Go, go, go.
I'm amazed I still haven't had many major oversteer moments in turn one. It's usually a problem corner. The tricky thing about when you run the ECU map at 1, which is an aggressive map, sort of in the lower gears, when the RPM sort of builds up a little bit, you get this kick of power, a bit violent, and you get that problem I got in coming out of the last corner sometimes. It's a lot neater this time.
Well done, mate. This is me, crossovers.
using all the track, then a little bit more. That's the way. So. Where is the apex? Bit too much speed. Way too much of a drift through Stowe there. Bit of oversteer coming out of club. Oh. It's a complete mess there, total mess. Right, I have a new theory about how to take Beckett's, but it's not exactly easy to do consistently. Slide a little bit, not like that. Into the first part, slight nudge to the right for the second part. That was a mess, that was a real mess. Don't do that. So I have a funny feeling it's going to be the same time I did on my last run,
Session is now.
because my 6th lap was about a few tenths quicker. Yeah, a few tenths, not really. Or was it 6 tenths quicker on the last run? Total time, I think. So yeah, number of messy laps. 4th, 5th, and 6th. Yeah, really. Try again. Just get some water here. I am human, so
Alright,
I
mate,
do
this
need to
session
be
is about
hydrated.
consistency. Try to be fast, but don't push it too much over the limit.
So 12 hours of coursework this morning, today, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. I did eat in the middle, so that's okay, but then I have to do this as well in the evening. So, not easy, but we'll try. So I'm going to go back actually to TC of 1, ABS of 1, move this brake bias back a little bit as well. And then what I might do is dial up to 2. When I get to the 3rd lap. Obviously towards the end of the 3rd lap, because that's when I've noticed it starts to slide a lot more in the last sector of the 3rd lap. I'm actually debating in that right hairpin using 1st gear. You have to go up 2nd then 1st again with the left hairpin. Something worth experimenting with, perhaps. It's gonna tag me. Has to tag me for that. Yep, there it goes. So difficult sometimes.
Right,
Just probably just got in the power just a moment too early, and that's it. Done.
Green line, go, go, go. Well done, mate. That's the best.
Of course, of course. Set the 57.6 or 57.7, then that happens. And then that happens. Kind of started
Right,
at
mate.
the
This
first
session
part
is
of
about
Beckett's.
consistency. Try to be fast, but don't push it too much
That's
over the limit.
where it began to go wrong, I think. Wasn't quite tight enough on the first part. I swung it to the left for the second part, or swung it to the right for the second part, and then oversteered.
Green line. Go, go, go.
It's gonna tag me. Oh, what do you know? What do you know? I guessed right this time.
Right, this session is about consistency.
She run a
Try
little
to be
bit too
fast, but
wide
don't push it over the limit.
out of turn one, which is very easily done. That can happen. Should try ABS at 2. So I can feel a little bit of kind of understeer braking into some corners, particularly the second last corner. It's gonna tag me again. Yep. Sorry about that. So so I'll go one more proper run,
Alright, mate. This session is about consistency. Try to be
and
fast,
then
but
I'll
don't push it too much over the
end
limit.
it there. It's got responsibilities and shit. So let's try and have a good one now. So I'll go quiet for this. My apologies.
Green line. Give it all you got.
All right, messed that up. Messed that up before we even got going.
Alright, this session is about consistency. Try to be fast, but don't push it over the limit. Session is now over.
That's a better time, I think. No, it isn't. Oh my god. Oh my god. I was sure that was a quicker time than I've done before. Felt almost certain about it. A whole second off. Oh dear. Consistency was better on that run, so when I stay quiet, I'm a little bit more consistent. So anyway, thanks for anyone who's tuned in. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned a thing or two. And yeah, so traction control of 1 can work for maybe 2 3/4 laps, maybe 2.5 laps. I think I turned it up to 2 a little bit too late on that run. Would have helped a bit with the hairpin. Then on the second last lap, going into the left hairpin, I don't know what I was doing. It was all over the place on entry into that left hairpin near the end of the lap. So not so good. So definitely lost some time with that, and lost a bit of time coming out of the last corner on the last lap as well. So I was kind of, I think, on par for most of the lap, and then it was just that last corner, I think, where it just didn't go as I would have liked, and I lost a bit more time, like at least 2/10 on the exit. But yeah, there we go. Tried. Still time to try maybe tomorrow. Maybe I don't know if I'll get to try the day after because the competition closes I think at 3 p.m. British summer time. I'll be in class at that time. So yeah, tempting to take the day off. Very tempting, but it's unwise, particularly because that particular class is very important. That's my project class. So if I don't, that's the most important subject of the whole year. So temptation is strong though, strong. But well, we'll see. Let's see if I can get really close tomorrow. Maybe. But anyway, so yeah, thanks for tuning in. I have a YouTube channel that you can click below the stream somewhere. There's a link for that. I also have a Patreon page and a Discord server where we arrange races sometimes, but haven't really done much over the last while because of other commitments or well, I have my studies and kind of a lot of the racing was very late at night, so it was a little bit difficult, um, just time zone wise and sleeping and all that. So haven't, but hopefully, there's a good community there. So if you'd like to join in, you're very welcome. Um, and yeah, Streamlabs page there as well. So probably should remove that. I don't see the point of that anymore in a way, but anyway, it's there. So thanks for tuning in, and catch you guys in the next stream, maybe tomorrow. Maybe I won't stream just to drive and focus on the competition. That's probably the just pure focus. So we'll see. Maybe not. You'll get the notification when I go live. So if I am streaming. Anyway, catch you guys again soon. Bye.